What's going on YouTube? Username Kite562 here, and I have a review for you of Beastars Volume 9. Now, as always, with these reviews, they will have some spoilers within them, but I'll try to keep them as spoiler-free as possible, so please sit back, relax, and hear what I have to say about this volume that I reread recently of Beastars Volume 9. Now, the first chapter of this volume was really shocking to me, and I'll try to be as vague as possible with this chapter alone. So it was let's just say, it was a very pulling experience. If you get that pun, good on ya. So anyway, Lugoshi takes Kaibi to the infirmary after his horrific and very traumatic experience during set prep at the drama club. Now, poor Kaibi is a little anteater, one of Lugoshi's friends, and after this horrific incident happened within the very first volume, or the very first chapter of Volume 9, he only trusts Lugoshi after his little interaction with them within Volume 2 or 3 of the manga. So I thought it was really sweet and yet really sad at the same time that Kaibi wouldn't trust any other carnivores to take him to the infirmary, since, again, Kibi's a small herbivore anteater, but I just found it really nice that he trusts Lugoshi enough to carry him to the infirmary after what he'd been through. So, but I won't say any more than that. So anyway, my next point. Lugoshi surprisingly figures out who killed Tim by the taste of the saliva. Now again, I won't say who the killer is, but the panel that depicted the individual, it really, like all of them, really scared the shit out of me. Like, the way that this individual was drawn out and illustrated, it really gives me a vibe of like Michael Myers meets Jason Voorhees, just with their singular strength alone. So it was just a really phenomenal and very tense and excruciating experience for my eyes, but not in a bad way, but in a really good way. So yeah, and again, just off topic here, it takes a lot to scare me, but Volume 9's reveal really scared the shit out of me, and again, pardon my French, so there. So, on top of that, Lugoshi realizes he's no match for Tim's killer right now, as the killer tears into the hallway ceiling with ease and just effortless spiel, and it's just easy for him. The killer just, oh, I'm sorry here. They just tear through it with ease, and as my mind keeps on flashing back to that panel of them, it's just, I get nervous. So, I am sorry if this seems kind of off topic, but please bear with me. Anyway, yeah, Lugoshi is no match for this guy right now. So, there's that. So, thankfully, Pina has a discussion with Lugoshi and the killer, and Pina advises them not to harm him, or the police will have to investigate another predatory incident alongside Thames. Now, here's the thing. Pina, at the nick of time, thankfully, by some freaking miracle, just interrupts both Tim, or Lugoshi, and the killer. And they just pretty much got their bacon saved by him, and they should be forever grateful. So all three of them end up having a civil discussion that if Pina were to get eaten by the killer, that would cause the police to get investigated that are a part of the Beastars universe to investigate another predatory incident on top of Tim's. So leading into that, it's kind of an off-topic chapter, but Lugoshi tells Jack a secret that Lugoshi wants Jack to keep, since this chapter takes place during Lugoshi's mom's funeral. We don't know her name yet, but yeah, his mom passed away at 12 years old, so it was just a really sad and really just a bittersweet moment. But I have to say, the funeral scenes were really beautifully depicted. But again, Lugoshi's mother passed away when Lugoshi was 12 years old, so she's been gone for a good 5 years now. And on to my next point. So, after we skip a few chapters that I didn't really think that would be important to mention, but when the volume continues, Gohan asks Lugoshi about his family. Lugoshi tells Gohan his mom died when he was 12, as I stated in my last point, and his father abandoned him. Now, we don't know who his father is or who his grandfather is at this point, so who knows? I mean, I hope we get to see Lugoshi's biological father in this series, but hopefully he turned out to be an alright guy. Anyway, point A, on top of that, Gohan notices Lugoshi's talent in combat and Lugoshi's commitment to his training. Now, Lugoshi's helping Gohan capture meat-addicted carnivores, whether it be hyenas, whether it be leopards, and Lugoshi's learning different ways of how to deal with them and what's their weak points within this universe of the back alley market. And I just thought that was really interesting, since Lugoshi has a natural knack of, like, easily adapting to situations. But, like, the training panels of Lugoshi just training, like the one where he's like this and he's holding the cannonballs on, like, his snout and his arms. I just thought that was really funny. And then another interesting exercise where he's doing this, like, grip exercise with his hands. It was just absolutely wonderful to see. So, anyway, point 9, after we read some more chapters and everything, and little detailed expositions that are not important right now, so Louie and Lugoshi cross paths again at the back alley market, like a little hidden alley area when Louie's still the Shishi Gumi boss. So Louie just creeps up to Lugoshi and just slowly takes off his muzzle and he's like, you don't have to say anything. So, with point number 10, the Shishi Gumi treat Lugoshi to dinner. Lugoshi gives them a fake alias called Haruo, and he says he's a fox, and he tries to say he's a picky eater, and he only eats fried tofu. So, he tells the Shishi Gumi that he's 20 years old, his name's Haruo, he's a fox, and so Free tries to figure out if he's a adult worker at this BDSM club within the back alley market, which I thought it was really funny. Just the expression on Louie's face at, like, the bottom right of this panel within Volume 9 is just absolutely hysterical. Like, it's just annoyed death glare from him, and he's just like, oh, I'm surrounded by idiots. Like, I could just see his mind just saying that on top of other things within his head that he wants to do, so oh. So anyway, Louie encourages Lugoshi to become stronger, to strive towards the light, and become a good example to society. Now, when I say this, I mean, after their whole dinner experience with the Shishi Gumi, Louie and Lugoshi have some one-on-one time near the beachside at a bench. So Lugoshi tries to tell Louie who the killer is, which I'm not going to say in any shape or form in this video. I'll try to keep this video as spoiler-free as possible, so if I slip up, I apologize, but I will try to censor it within this video if I catch it. Anyway, Louie and Lugoshi have some alone time to talk to one another, so Lugoshi ends up telling Louie who the killer is. So Louis ends up encouraging Lugoshi to become stronger and strive towards the light and to become the next Beastar. But when this starts to unfold beforehand, Lugoshi ends up getting held at gunpoint by the Shishi Gumi, and it's just all of the Shishi Gumi lines on all of them, and it's just a really mind-blowing. Like, the twists and turns within this volume alone is just absolutely solid. It's just wonderful. So, anyway, after Lugoshi hears this from Louis, he protests and he thinks that a strong herbivore should be the next Beastar and just be a leading example for the Society of Cherryton and the Beastars universe as a whole. So I really like that this rivalry conflict between Louis and Lugoshi is just really interesting at how their ideals like parallel each other, in my opinion. So point 12, it kind of goes on a little sidestep to Riz and his dorm mates and all that. So we find out Ursidae, who grow taller than 6 feet, are required to take medication that atrophies their muscles. Now, it suppresses their strength. It's basically a strength suppressant. So, anyway, the side effects of this medication really affect Riz, which includes headaches, restlessness, and depression, which he probably suffered all three. Which the poor guy has severe headaches, restlessness, and depression. And I just felt really bad for the guy because I really like the design of Riz at how he's illustrated in the panels. It's just, you think he's a wholesome guy, but I feel like there's something more to him. Just, my opinion. So point 13, like I said, these strength suppressors cause headaches, listlessness, and depression amongst the Ursidae population, as stated within the Manga Volume 9. So, we get a little flashback of Tim and Riz enjoying time together, both in the drama club at school. Now, Tim looks at Riz for the first time and he's like, "Whoa, you look really scary." And Riz is just like, "Really? Why are you so blunt?" And Riz at first is kind of hesitant to open up to Tim, but slowly as time progresses, Riz and Tim just really end up being friends. So Riz tries to get off of he stops taking his medication for a few days, and then Tim starts to realize that Riz is a little bit bigger as the days go on and a little bit gruffer, just the way that Riz's fur is slowly matted and everything. But I just thought it was really interesting at how those panels were illustrated. So I'll leave it at that without spoiling anything further. Or if I do accidentally spoil anything further, I apologize profusely. Anyway, point 15. Carnivore and herbivore clubs are going to be shut down and students will be into separate classes. Now, after the whole spiel with Tim's murder within Volume 1, the series just slowly built up all the way to this scenario of like separating both the carnivores and herbivores, and then we get a little snippet of Juno saying, "Why can't we be both separate and equal?" And this really develops a interesting dynamic that really makes you think, like, should the students be separated into separate classes? Me, I don't think so. I really think that both sides should be given a chance to control both of their instincts, since we know both carnivores and herbivores have their own instincts and struggles, whether it be they're stronger than herbivores or herbivores have an urge to like run away from carnivore students when they don't try to hurt them in any way, shape, or form. But like, if a carnivore student goes berserk, the herbivore's instincts would likely go on autopilot and just go from 0 to 60, blood, flesh, limbs flying everywhere. Just let your imagination do the work. Oh. Anyway, so again, another like chapter skip, chapter skip. Juno's still jealous of Haru, but they end up helping each other out in the gardening club. Now, I thought this scene was hilarious because Juno's mind is just imagining the worst of the worst. Like, we see poor Haru get bumped into by a buffalo student, and she just ends up flying slightly in the air and falling on her face. I know I shouldn't laugh at that, but I thought that was kind of funny. Haru's like one of my favorite characters next to a slew of others. So, I like everybody in this manga. So, there's something I like about each and every one of them. So, Juno's mind just goes on an autopilot trip of feeling like she's trapped in a shoujo manga, being jealous of Haru and Lugoshi's connection, but as Juno follows Haru to the gardening club, she doesn't realize that there's a gardening club, garden shed thing on like the roof area of Cherryton, and I just thought that was really interesting that not many students go to the gardening club of this school, because I really find it to be a really beautiful location and just a really beautiful and relaxing location, regardless of what happened in later earlier volumes. So anyway, Juno and Haru end up helping each other a little bit with like some plants and stuff, and Haru grabs the ladder to pick up this big box, and Juno looks over and just panics because she thinks Haru's going to get squished by this box that's like 2 times the size of her, and so Juno ends up saving Haru in the nick of time and just helps her get that box of supplies that she needed. So they end up helping each other pot plants within the gardening club and just slowly having a one-to-one talk and having a little bit of lunch together. And Juno kind of realizes why Lugoshi likes Haru, and Juno thinks that Lugoshi only likes Haru because she's cute, but it's a lot more than that. I'll say that. It's a lot more than that. So, but the volume ends with Juno walking away, proclaiming that she will not get wrapped around Haru's mind games, like Haru wrapped around Louis and Lugoshi around her finger like a little strand of string or wire. So, my overall thoughts on this volume alone, I give it a solid 9.5 out of 10. It's just really great. We get a lot of interesting little backstories between the characters, and I just thought the beginning of this volume alone was really surprising to me and really great. And again, I give it a solid 9.5 out of 10, and as always, Beastars is written and illustrated by Paru Itagaki and published by Viz Media. And this is Kite562 signing out. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more content on this channel, and let me know down in the comments below what was your favorite part of Volume 9 of Beastars that still sticks with you to this day. Let me know down in the comments below. This is Kite562 signing out, and as always, I hope you have a wonderful day, everybody. Later.